at unemployment as a silo. It's not. Unemployment is also a social matter. It's not just an economic struggle. It's a social impact struggle. It creates health issues. It creates an education, which creates frustration, which creates terrorism. You know, the studies show that one of the largest causes of terrorism or recruitment of terrorism is frustration in the youth, not being able to express themselves in any other field. So you have to enable them, create an ecosystem using the private sector again to bring them into this ecosystem which we want to harness their human development. This government, especially the Prime Minister, is leading from the front in human development. We need to go about it a lot more. Another small stat is, like I was telling you, 6% of technically skilled youth. That's an appalling figure from any stretch of the imagination. We won't build in 5 years enough schools. We won't build enough universities, but we can build enough technical and vocational training centers to equip these youth to go and deploy their human capital in Pakistan and abroad. We, being in charge of overseas Pakistanis and human resources, one of the facts in 2015, bringing out close to 1 million Pakistanis abroad. It was probably our highest, or was definitely our highest export in 2015. In 2018, that figure came down by a staggering amount, less than 400,000, 360, 370,000 we were stuck at. There was obviously issues with GCC countries, which they weren't taking more human resource from other countries. But where did that left us? Where do we stand today? We're standing all of a sudden redundant. We're stagnant. We were so used to sending unskilled or barely semi-skilled labor abroad that the minute that tightened up, we were squeezed to where do we send them next? Which countries do we look at? How many people do we have to fit the criteria? We had, in my ministry, Qatar kindly gave us maybe 3 years ago a quota of 100,000 jobs. It sounded like a great thing. It's not. It's 100,000 jobs, but it's a small percentage of what they were actually giving out to the world. But again, you can't blame a country when you're not helping yourself. We barely, in 2015, sent them 5,500 people to Qatar. In 2016, we barely sent 6,800 people to Qatar. So, meaning that they knew that if we give them 100,000, perhaps Pakistan can't even fulfill that demand over 10 years, which again is a very disappointing figure. I will say, under the guidance of the Prime Minister this year, my ministry in particular is looking to fulfill that demand completely. We've gone to around 43 to 45,000 already, and inshallah in the next 6 months we'll complete the remaining 50,000. But this can only happen because we stopped working in silos. We got NAFTAC involved, we got international donors involved, we got overseas Pakistanis who are heavily linked in other countries involved, to build this demand, to create some synergy with Germany, with Romania, with Korea. So these are all small things which we need to work in a holistic way. Employment, like I said, doesn't just come in one format. It comes in various things, and it's linked to everything. Everything, at the end of the day, the burden goes down to unemployment. I do want to say that for this government, it's something which we're
वज़ीर-ए-आज़म के मावने ख़ुसूसी जुल्फ़ी बुखारी तकरीब से ख़िताब कर रहे थे। उनका कहना था कि पाकिस्तान में आला मयार की यूनिवर्सिटियों का क़याम बहुत ज़रूरी है।